Hello, beautiful Cancer souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Blueprints Astrology. I'm Sino, and I'm so grateful to have you here today as we explore what the cosmos has in store for all you nurturing, intuitive Cancer placements in 2026. If you're a Cancer sun, moon, or rising, this forecast is created especially for you. And if you have significant Cancer placements on your chart, you'll definitely want to stay because 2026 is bringing powerful blessings and profound transformation to your sign. Before we dive in, if you're new to our cosmic family, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a forecast. And to my returning viewers, thank you for being part of this community. Your presence and support mean the world to me. Now let's talk about your year ahead, Cancer. 2026 is a year of financial blessings, emotional depth, and stepping into your authentic power. We're going to explore this journey month by month, covering all the major transits, eclipses, and planetary movements that will shape your experience. So settle in, get cozy, and let's dive into your cosmic blueprint for 2026. So before we get into the month-by-month breakdown, let's look at the big picture themes that will define your year, Cancer. The most significant blessing for you is Jupiter in Cancer for the first half of the year. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, and abundance, is in your sign until June 30th. This is one of the best transits you can experience. Jupiter only comes through Cancer every 12 years, and when it does, it brings blessings, opportunities, and a sense of possibility to your life. Jupiter in your first house expands your confidence, your presence, and your overall sense of who you are. You're being seen, recognized, and valued in ways that may surprise you. Opportunities come more easily. People are drawn to your warmth and nurturing energy, so this is your time to shine, Cancer. On June 30th, Jupiter moves into Leo, entering your second house of money, values, and self-worth. This continues the blessing energy but shifts the focus to finances and material security. The second half of the year is excellent for increasing income, building resources, and getting clear about what you truly value. Saturn moves into Aries on February 13th, entering your 10th house of career and public reputation. Saturn here for the next 2.5 years asks you to take your professional life seriously, to build something lasting, and to step into leadership with maturity and responsibility. This is about claiming your authority in your field. Neptune also enters Aries on January 26th, joining Saturn in your 10th house. Neptune brings spiritual purpose and creative vision to your career. Together, Saturn and Neptune are asking you to build a career that's both practically sustainable and spiritually meaningful. Uranus makes a major shift on April 25th, moving from Taurus into Gemini. After 7 years of Uranus revolutionizing your 11th house of friendships and communities, it moves into your 12th house of spirituality, the subconscious, and what lies hidden. This brings unexpected spiritual awakenings and liberation from old subconscious patterns. Pluto continues its journey through Aquarius in your 8th house, transforming your relationship with intimacy, shared resources, power, and psychological depth. You're being called to authentic vulnerability and to address power dynamics in close relationships. The North Node shifts from Pisces into Aquarius on July 26th, moving from your 9th house to your 8th house. Your destiny is shifting from expansion and adventure to deep intimacy and transformation. The second half of your year is about going deep rather than wide. Chiron then moves between Aries and Taurus this year, transitioning from your 10th house to your 11th house. You're moving from healing career wounds to healing friendship and community wounds. Now let's zoom in on relationships because 2026 brings important themes in this area for Cancer. Jupiter in your sign for the first half of your year makes you more attractive, magnetic, and open-hearted. Single Cancers will find more romantic opportunities during this period. You're glowing with Jupiter's optimism and abundance, which naturally draws people to you. Coupled Cancers will find their relationships expanding and deepening with more joy and adventure together. The North Node entering your 8th house in July is huge for relationships. Your destined path is calling you to deep intimacy and vulnerability. This isn't about casual connections, it's about profound emotional and psychological merging with another person. For those in relationships, the North Node in your 8th house asks you to go deeper. Are you truly vulnerable with your partner? Do you share your fears, your desires, and your shadows? Or do you keep walls up to stay safe? The universe is calling you to authentic intimacy, which requires courage. For single Cancers, the North Node in your 8th house may not be... For single Cancers, the North Node in your 8th house may not bring quantity but quality. You're not looking for lots of dates. You're looking for someone who can meet you in the depths, who isn't afraid of emotional intensity, and who wants real intimacy. Venus retrograde in October and November is significant for your love life. Venus retrograde in your 5th house of romance asks you what you truly want in love. Are you being authentic in how you approach romance? What patterns need healing? When Venus retrograde moves into your 4th house, the questions shift to whether your home and family life support your relationships. Pluto in your 8th house throughout the year continues transforming your relationship with intimacy, power, and vulnerability. Pluto doesn't do shallow. It demands authenticity and is willing to destroy what's false to make space for what's real. If relationships aren't working, Pluto will expose the problems so you can either heal or release them. Chiron moving between your 10th and 11th houses touches on wounds that might affect relationships. So feeling worthy of professional success in your 10th house, or feeling like you belong and are accepted in your 11th house. These wounds can impact intimate relationships if you're bringing insecurity or fear of rejection into partnership. Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house affects relationships indirectly by demanding your time and energy for career building. Finding the balance between professional ambitions and relationship needs is important. Make sure you're not sacrificing your relationships for career success or vice versa. The key message for Cancer regarding relationships in 2026 is go deep, be vulnerable, choose authenticity over safety. The North Node in your 8th house is calling you to intimate connection that transforms you and that requires courage and emotional honesty. Now let's talk about career and finances, areas of tremendous blessing and growth in 2026. Jupiter in Cancer for the first half of your year supports career advancement because it expands your confidence and presence. People see you, respect you, and want to work with you. This is an excellent time to interview for new positions, ask for promotions, or put yourself forward for leadership opportunities. When Jupiter moves into your 2nd house on June 30th, the financial blessings become more direct. Jupiter in your money house is one of the best transits for increasing income. Raises, new income streams, unexpected money, investment growth, all of these are possible with Jupiter blessing your finances. The solar eclipse in Leo in your 2nd house on August 12th, combined with Jupiter there, is a massive financial reset. This eclipse can open completely new income opportunities or shift what you value in ways that transform your financial reality. Be open to unexpected financial opportunities around this time. Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house throughout most of the year, starting January and February, are career game changers. Saturn in your 10th house for the next 2.5 years is one of the best placements for career achievement and recognition. Saturn rewards hard work, consistency, and maturity. If you're willing to put in the efforts to take responsibility and to build something lasting, Saturn will support your professional success. This transit often brings promotions, increased authority, or being recognized as an expert in your field. Neptune joining Saturn in your 10th house adds spiritual purpose and creative vision. Together, they're asking you to build a career that's both practically successful and spiritually meaningful. This is about more than just making money. It's about doing work that matters to your soul. For some Cancers, this might mean transitioning to more spiritually aligned work, healing professions, creative fields, or anything that serves a higher purpose. For others, it means bringing spiritual values into existing careers, leading with compassion, creating beauty, serving others. Mars transiting through your 10th house in April energizes your career ambitions. This is when you take decisive action professionally, assert yourself in the workplace, or make bold career moves. Combined with Saturn and Neptune already there, you have ambition, structure, and vision all working together. Pluto in your 8th house throughout the year has financial implications because the 8th house governs shared resources, investments, inheritance, taxes, and other people's money. Pluto is transforming your relationship with these areas. You may need to address joint finances, inheritance matters, or power dynamics around money in relationships. The overall financial message is incredibly positive. Jupiter blesses both your sign and your money house at different times during the year. The eclipse in your 2nd house opens new possibilities. Saturn in your career house supports professional advancement that leads to financial rewards. The key is balancing practical financial building, which is Saturn, with spiritual purpose, which is Neptune, expansion, which is Jupiter, with transformation, which is Pluto, and personal resources in your 2nd house with shared resources in your 8th house. Let's talk about your health and wellness for 2026, which is generally supported with Jupiter's blessings. Jupiter in Cancer for the first half of the year is wonderful for overall vitality and well-being. Jupiter in your sign often correlates with feeling better, having more energy, and being more optimistic, all of which support health. This is an excellent time to start new health routines or programs because Jupiter gives you the motivation and positive attitude to stick with them. However, Jupiter can also bring expansion in ways you may not want. Weight gain is a common side effect of Jupiter in the 1st house if you're not mindful. The key is channeling Jupiter's abundance toward healthy expansion. So maybe building muscle, increasing stamina, expanding your wellness routine rather than unconscious overindulgence. Mars in Cancer from August 11th onwards is powerful for your physical energy. Your ruling planet in your sign gives you drive and motivation to take care of your body. This is an excellent period for starting or intensifying fitness routines. Mars in Cancer is protective of the body and motivated to create strength and security through physical wellness. Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house affect health indirectly through career stress. Saturn's demand for a professional achievement and responsibility can create stress if you're not managing your workload well. Neptune's spiritual calling might create confusion about career direction, which can also manifest as stress or anxiety. The key is setting boundaries around work, not sacrificing your health for career success, and remembering that sustainable achievement requires taking care of your physical and emotional needs. Uranus entering your 12th house in April can affect sleep and mental health. Uranus in the house of rest and the subconscious can create restless sleep, unusual dreams, or periods of insomnia. The 12th house also governs mental health, and Uranus here can bring sudden anxiety or nervous system activation. The solution is developing strong sleep hygiene practices, creating calming bedtime routines, and possibly exploring alternative approaches to managing stress and anxiety. Uranus responds well to innovative wellness approaches, maybe sleep tracking technology, new relaxation techniques, or unconventional healing modalities. As a Cancer, your health is intimately connected to your emotional state. When you're emotionally secure and nurturing yourself, your physical health tends to be good. When you're stressed, anxious, or emotionally depleted, your health suffers. This year especially, with so much emphasis on career and achievement, make sure you're also nurturing yourself. The 4th house, your natural home, is where you refuel emotionally. Make sure your living space is comfortable and nurturing. Create rituals that help you feel safe and cared for. Spend time near water if possible, as Cancer is a water sign and water is naturally healing for you. Venus retrograde in your fourth house in late October, early November highlights the connection between your home environment and your overall well-being. Is your home a sanctuary that supports your health, or is it a source of stress? Is your home a sanctuary that supports your health, or is it a source of stress? Make changes that increase the nurturing quality of your space. The overall health guidance for 2026 is balance professional ambition with self-care. Don't sacrifice health for career. Honor your need for emotional security and comfort by creating a nurturing home. Manage stress proactively, especially from career demands, and listen to your body's signals about rest and restoration. So now let's dive into January, which brings your blessed Jupiter year. The month opens with Jupiter in Cancer in your first house. You're starting the year with the planet of luck and expansion right in your sign, amplifying everything good about being a Cancer. Your emotional intelligence, your nurturing nature, your intuition, these gifts are enhanced and recognized. People are drawn to you. Jupiter in the first house also wants to support any changes you want to make to your appearance, health, or overall presence. If you've been wanting to update your style, start a fitness routine, or simply carry yourself with more confidence, Jupiter supports all of this. On January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, moving into your 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, and transformation. Mars here motivates you to address deep emotional or financial matters that you've been avoiding. This is when you have the courage to have difficult conversations, to set boundaries in intimate relationships, or to handle shared financial matters. The most significant transit of the month happens on January 26th when Neptune enters Aries, moving into your 10th house of career and public reputation. Neptune in your career house brings spiritual purpose and creative vision to your professional life. Neptune asks, is your career meaningful? Does it align with your values and spiritual purpose? Neptune wants you to build a career that feeds your soul, not just your bank account. This doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job to become a healer or artist, though some Cancers might do exactly that. It means finding or creating meaning in whatever work you do. Neptune in the 10th house can also bring creative or spiritual career opportunities, so working in healing, the arts, spirituality, or any field where you can express your compassion and vision. However, Neptune can also create confusion about your professional direction. The key is staying connected to your intuition about what feels right rather than what looks good on paper. January is asking you to shine through Jupiter in your sign, while also connecting to deeper purpose through Neptune in your career house. You're being seen, and you want to be seen doing something meaningful. February brings several major transits that deepen your professional and spiritual journey. On February 3rd, Uranus goes direct in Taurus in your 11th house. Uranus has been retrograde since September 2025, and now it's moving forward again for its final months in the sign. This direct motion can bring final revelations about friendships or sudden clarity about your role in communities before Uranus moves into your 12th house in April. The biggest shift of the month comes on February 13th when Saturn enters Aries, moving into your 10th house to rejoin Neptune. Saturn in your career house for the next 2.5 years brings structure, responsibility, and maturity to your professional life. Saturn asks you to take your career seriously, to commit to building something lasting, and to step into leadership even if it feels scary. Saturn in the 10th house is one of the best placements for career advancements and recognition, but it requires hard work, patience, and consistency. With both Saturn and Neptune now in your 10th house, you have a powerful combination: Saturn's practical structure and Neptune's spiritual vision. The key is integrating both, so building a career that's grounded in reality but inspired by higher purpose that provides material security while feeding your soul. This combination can manifest in many ways, like starting a spiritually aligned business, bringing creative vision to traditional work, or finding the courage to pursue a career that others think is impractical but that feels deeply right to you. On February 26th, Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces in your ninth house of travel, higher education, and philosophy. This retrograde asks you to review your beliefs, worldview, and plans for expansion. Are you pursuing education or travel that actually aligns with your values, or are you doing what you think you should do? Mercury retrograde in the ninth house can bring back opportunities for travel or education that were previously available. You might reconsider plans or visit places that were meaningful in the past. So February is fundamentally about professional maturity and spiritual purpose. Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house are calling you to step up, take responsibility, and build a career that matters. March brings powerful eclipse energy that catalyzes change in your domestic life. On March 2nd, Mars enters Pisces, moving into your ninth house of travel, education, and expansion. Mars here motivates you to explore, learn, travel, or expand your horizons in some way. This is adventurous energy that wants to grow beyond current boundaries. The very next day, March 3rd, we have a full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo in your third house of communication, learning, and local connections. This is a powerful culmination or ending related to how you communicate, think, or connect with your immediate environment. Eclipses bring sudden changes and revelations. This lunar eclipse might mark the end of a writing project, a shift in how you communicate, or changes in your relationships with siblings or neighbors. You're being asked to release old mental patterns or communication styles that no longer serve you. The third house is also about daily learning and mental activity. So this eclipse might reveal that you need to change how you consume information or engage your mind day to day. On March 10th, Jupiter goes direct in Cancer in your first house. So Jupiter has been retrograde since November of 2025, and now it's moving forward again, accelerating the blessings and opportunities in your life. Everything Jupiter touches expands, and with it direct in your sign, the second half of your Jupiter transit is particularly potent. March is still in the first quarter of the year, but with Jupiter direct in your sign, you're feeling the momentum building. Spring is approaching, and with it comes renewal and possibility. So as a Cancer, you're deeply connected to seasonal cycles, and spring energy can feel particularly rejuvenating for you. The eclipse in your third house combined with Mars in your ninth house creates interesting tension between local and distant, between daily learning and higher education, between your immediate environments and the bigger world. You're being asked to balance both. April brings significant planetary shifts that affect your spiritual and social landscape. On April 9th, Mars enters Aries, moving into your 10th house to join Saturn and Neptune. Mars in your career house gives you the energy, drive, and courage to pursue professional goals aggressively. This is when you take action on career aspirations. You assert yourself in your workplace, or you make bold moves toward the professional life you want. Mars joining Saturn and Neptune creates a powerful stellium in your 10th house. You have ambition through Mars, structure through Saturn, and vision through Neptune, all working together in your career sector. So this is incredibly productive energy if you channel it consciously. You can make significant professional progress during this period. Then on April 25th, Uranus enters Gemini, moving from your 11th house into your 12th house of spirituality, the subconscious, and what lies hidden. After 7 years of Uranus revolutionizing your friendships and communities, the planet of awakening moves into your spiritual house. Uranus in the 12th house brings unexpected spiritual awakenings, sudden insights from your subconscious, and liberation from old patterns you weren't even consciously aware of. This is a deeply transformative placement that works beneath the surface. You may have sudden spiritual experiences, dreams that feel prophetic or meaningful, or unexpected releases of old fears and anxieties. Uranus in your 12th house can also bring interest in alternative spirituality, energy healing, psychology, or anything that explores the hidden dimensions of existence. Some astrologers say Uranus in the 12th house is preparation for Uranus eventually entering your first house in 7 years. So you're clearing out subconscious blocks and liberating yourself internally before Uranus revolutionizes your external identity. So April is about taking decisive professional action through Mars in your 10th house, while also beginning a deep spiritual journey through Uranus in your 12th house. You're being seen publicly and doing inner work simultaneously. May continues the dynamic energy of April while adding some reflective elements. With Mars still in your 10th house, your career momentum is strong. You're visible, ambitious, and taking action. Combined with Saturn and Neptune also in your 10th house, you're building something meaningful and sustainable. On May 6th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius in your 8th house. Pluto has been transforming your relationship with intimacy, shared resources, and power dynamics, and now it's retrograde until October. This is a time to integrate the psychological transformations rather than push deeper. Pluto retrograde asks, what power dynamics in your intimate relationships need attention? Where have you given your power away, or where have you been controlling? What beliefs about intimacy and vulnerability need transformation? This retrograde gives you time to process and integrate. On May 18th, Mars enters Taurus, moving into your 11th house of friendships, groups, and aspirations. Mars here energizes your social life and motivates you to actively engage with communities and pursue your long-term goals. This is when you take action in friendships or group settings. Mars in Taurus is steady and determined. You're not rushing your social connections or aspirations. You're building them consistently. This is excellent energy for networking, joining groups aligned with your values, or taking leadership in community organizations. May asks you to balance your career focus, which has been strong since Mars entered Aries, with social connection and community involvement, which is Mars in your 11th house. You need both professional achievement and meaningful friendships. June is a monumentally important month with Jupiter changing signs and other significant transits. On June 19th, Chiron enters Taurus, moving into your 11th house of friendships and communities. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in your friendship sector, it brings up wounds around belonging, being accepted, finding your tribe, or feeling valued by your community. Chiron in the 11th house can initially feel painful as old wounds surface, perhaps feeling left out, not fitting in, or being rejected by groups. But Chiron's purpose is healing. By showing you these wounds, Chiron gives you the opportunity to finally address them and find genuine belonging. This placement is also about healing through community. You may find healing by being part of groups that accept you as you are, or you might become a healer within your communities, helping others who struggle with belonging. On June 28th, Mars enters Gemini, moving into your 12th house of spirituality and the subconscious. Mars in the 12th house can feel frustrating because your energy becomes more internal and hidden. This is not a time for external battles, it's more of a time for inner work. Mars in your 12th house is excellent for spiritual practices, meditation, therapy, or addressing subconscious patterns. You're motivated to explore your inner world, to face hidden fears, and to do shadow work. The very next day, June 29th, Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer in your first house. This is significant because Mercury retrograde is in your sign. This retrograde asks you to review your identity, your self-presentation, and how you communicate about yourself. Mercury retrograde in your first house is a time for self-reflection rather than external action. Who are you becoming? How do you want to be seen? What aspects of your identity need updating? This retrograde gives you space to figure this out before Mercury goes direct. But the most significant transit of the month, and perhaps the entire year, happens on June 30th when Jupiter enters Leo, moving from your first house into your second house of money, values, and self-worth. This is huge, Cancer. Jupiter leaving your sign means the first half of your Jupiter blessing cycle is complete. Now Jupiter moves into your financial house, and for the next year, the blessings focus on prosperity, resources, and recognizing your worth. Jupiter in your second house is one of the best financial transits possible. So income can increase, new financial opportunities open up, and you generally feel more abundant. This is an excellent time to ask for raises, increase your rates, start new income streams, or invest in yourself. Jupiter in the second house also helps you recognize your value. You're realizing what you bring to the table and becoming willing to be compensated accordingly. No more undervaluing yourself or accepting less than you deserve. So June is fundamentally about transition from Jupiter in your sign to Jupiter in your money house, from external action to internal work with Mars in the 12th, and from forward momentum to reflection with Mercury retrograde in your sign. July continues the introspective energy while bringing important retrograde activity. With Mercury still retrograde in your sign for the first part of July, you're continuing your self-reflection. Who are you now compared to who you were at the beginning of the year? Jupiter's transit through your sign has likely changed you in meaningful ways, and Mercury retrograde helps you integrate these changes. On July 7th, Neptune goes retrograde in Aries in your 10th house. Neptune has only been in Aries since January, and now it's retrograde until December. This retrograde helps you integrate the spiritual insights about your career and public path. Neptune retrograde can provide clarity after the initial confusion of Neptune entering your career house. You may better understand what kind of meaningful work calls to you, or you might see more clearly through career illusions or unrealistic expectations. July 26 is a significant day with two major astrological events. First, Saturn goes retrograde in Aries in your 10th house. Saturn entered this house in February, and now it's retrograde until mid-November. This retrograde gives you time to review your career structures and professional commitments. Saturn retrograde asks, are you building the right career or just building something because you think you should? Are you taking on too much responsibility professionally or not enough? Are you being authentic in your professional life or performing? This retrograde helps you reassess this. Also, on July 26th, the North Node retrograde enters Aquarius, moving from Pisces into your 8th house. This is a major shift in your destined path. For the past 18 months, the North Node in Pisces was calling you to expansion, adventure, and exploring new horizons. Now, the North Node in Aquarius is calling you to depth, intimacy, and transformation. Your destiny for the next 18 months involves going deep rather than wide, deep into intimate relationships, deep into psychological understanding, and deep into shared resources and power dynamics. This is about authentic vulnerability, emotional intimacy, and transforming through connection with others. July is about integrating with multiple retrogrades while your destiny shifts toward depth and intimacy. You're being asked to reflect on your career, your identity, and what you're being called to transform. August is eclipse season, bringing powerful catalysts for change. On August 3rd, Chiron goes retrograde in Taurus in your 11th house. Chiron just entered this house in June, and now it's retrograde, which will actually take it back into Aries on September 17th. This back and forth motion shows you're transitioning between healing career wounds in your 10th house and healing friendship wounds in the 11th house. Chiron retrograde asks you to review what's surfaced about belonging and community. This is internal healing work. So be compassionate with yourself as old wounds about acceptance and fitting in resurface for integration. On August 11th, Mars enters Cancer. coming into your sign. This is when you feel most energized, motivated, and emotionally connected to your goals. Mars in Cancer gives you the courage to pursue what you want while staying emotionally authentic. Mars in your sign is protective, nurturing toward yourself and others, and deeply connected to emotional truth. You're taking action that honors your feelings and values. This is powerful energy for pursuing goals that matter to your heart. The very next day, August 12th, we have a new moon total solar eclipse in Leo in your second house of money, values, and self-worth. This is a massive reset in your financial life and relationship with material security. Solar eclipses are new beginnings, and this one is opening a powerful new chapter financially. Combined with Jupiter also in Leo in your second house, this eclipse is supercharged with abundance energy. New income opportunities may open, you may change what you value, or you might finally recognize your worth in ways that transform your financial reality. This eclipse is planting seeds that will develop over the next 6 months. So whatever begins around this time financially has long-term significance. Be open to unexpected opportunities and trust that the universe is supporting your prosperity. Then on August 29th, we have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in Pisces in your 9th house of travel, education, and expansion. This eclipse is a culmination or ending related to your worldview, education, or adventures. Lunar eclipses are about release. What belief system are you ready to let go of? What educational path no longer serves you? What dream of adventure needs to be released so you can focus on the depth work your North Node is calling you toward? The two eclipses together, so the solar in Leo in your second house and the lunar in Pisces in your 9th house, are balancing material security with adventure, practical resources with philosophical expansion, building wealth with expanding consciousness. You're being asked to ground yourself financially while remaining open to growth and learning. September brings shifts as we move toward fall, a season that's emotionally meaningful for Cancer. On September 10th, Uranus goes retrograde in Gemini in your 12th house. Uranus just entered this house in April, and now it's retrograde until early 2027. This retrograde turns the spiritual awakening energy inward, helping you integrate the insights and releases you've experienced. Uranus retrograde in the 12th house can bring powerful dreams, sudden psychological insights, or unexpected releases of old fears. The revolution is happening in your subconscious, clearing space for new levels of spiritual awareness. On September 17th, Chiron retrograde re-enters Aries, moving back into your 10th house. Chiron dips back into your career sector for one final healing push around professional wounds before it fully commits to your friendship house next year. Pay attention to what comes up emotionally around your career during this time. Old wounds about achievement, recognition, authority, or your place in the professional world may resurface for final healing. This is your last chance to address these career-related wounds before Chiron moves forward. September is Virgo season, activating your 3rd house of communication, learning, and local connections. This is practical, organized energy that helps you streamline your daily life and communication. After the intense eclipse energy of August, September asks you to focus on the details. This is an excellent month for organizing your schedule, improving your communication skills, learning something practical, or strengthening connections with siblings or neighbors. Virgo energy helps you create systems that support your daily life. Fall is an emotionally significant season for Cancer. The shift from summer's warmth to autumn's introspection resonates with your nature. September is when you naturally turn more inward, focusing on home and emotional well-being. October brings several retrogrades that ask you to slow down and review, especially in relationships. On October 3rd, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio in your 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, and self-expression. Venus retrograde here is significant for your heart and how you experience joy. For Cancers in relationships, Venus retrograde in your 5th house asks you to review your romantic life. Are you truly happy? Are you being authentic in romance or performing? What do you actually want in love versus what you think you should want? Venus retrograde brings these questions to the surface. For creative Cancers, this retrograde asks about your relationship with creativity and pleasure. Are you making time for what brings you joy? Are you expressing yourself authentically? Venus wants you to reconnect with genuine pleasure and creative expression. On October 15th, Pluto goes direct in Aquarius in your 8th house. Pluto has been retrograde since May, and now it's moving forward again, accelerating the transformation of intimacy and shared resources. Psychological insights that were internal during the retrograde may now manifest in external changes, perhaps in intimate relationships or financial matters involving other people. On October 24th, Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, also in your 5th house. This compounds the Venus retrograde themes. Communication about romance, creativity, and what brings you joy becomes important. You're reviewing and possibly revisiting how you express yourself and what you pursue for pleasure. The very next day, October 25th, Venus retrograde enters Libra, moving into your 4th house of home, family, and emotional foundations. Venus is exalted in Libra, and even though it's retrograde, the shift brings some ease. You're reviewing the beauty and harmony of your home life and family relationships. Venus retrograde in your 4th house asks, does your home feel beautiful and nurturing? Are your family relationships balanced and harmonious? What needs to change in your domestic life to feel more peaceful? October is fundamentally a month of reviewing matters of the heart, so romance, creativity, pleasure, home, family. The retrogrades are asking you to get honest about what truly brings you joy and emotional fulfillment. November brings some relief as retrogrades end, and you can move forward with greater clarity about what your heart wants. On November 25th, Mars enters Virgo, moving into your 3rd house of communication and daily activities. Mars here energizes your mind and gives you the drive to communicate, learn, and take care of daily tasks efficiently. Mars in Virgo is detail-oriented and productive. You're motivated to organize your life, communicate clearly and directly, and tackle the practical tasks that need attention. This is excellent energy for writing, studying, or any activity that engages your mind. Around mid-November, both Mercury and Venus go direct, which brings relief to the relationship and creative challenges of October. Romance becomes clearer, creative projects can move forward, and you have better understanding of what brings you genuine joy. November is Scorpio season, continuing to emphasize your 5th house of creativity, romance, and pleasure. Even as Mercury and Venus go direct, the Scorpio energy asks for depth and authenticity in how you experience joy. This isn't about superficial fun, it's about profound pleasure and genuine creative expression. With Jupiter still blessing your 2nd house from Leo, November is a good time to think about how to monetize your creativity or passions. What brings you joy that could also bring income? Jupiter supports turning pleasure into prosperity. December closes out the year with Sagittarius energy and a significant Jupiter retrograde. On December 12th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Leo in your 2nd house. Jupiter has been blessing your finances and self-worth since June, and now it's retrograde until 2027. This isn't a problem. It's asking you to integrate the financial growth and value recognition you've experienced. Jupiter retrograde in your 2nd house asks, have you been building real wealth or just accumulating? Do you feel genuinely worthy, or are you still struggling with self-value despite external success? Are your financial goals truly aligned with your values? This retrograde helps you consolidate your relationship with money and worth. Jupiter retrograde is also a good time to review investments, savings, or financial strategies. You may see opportunities to improve how you manage money or realize you need to adjust your approach to building resources. December is Sagittarius season, activating your sixth house of health, work, and daily routines. This brings focus to your well-being and how you take care of yourself day to day. Sagittarius energy here is optimistic about health and wants to explore new wellness practices or approaches to work. December is ideal for trying new fitness routines, exploring holistic health, or simply bringing more adventure and positivity into your daily life. Your daily routines don't have to be boring. Sagittarius wants them to be enjoyable and meaningful. As the year winds down, take some time to reflect on the profound journey you've experienced. You started 2026 with Jupiter in your sign, expanding your confidence and presence. You navigated Saturn and Neptune entering your career house, calling you to build something meaningful professionally. You experienced Uranus moving into your 12th house, beginning a spiritual awakening process. You witnessed your destiny shift from expansion to depth as the North Node entered your 8th house. You received Jupiter's continued blessings as it moved into your money house. You worked through eclipses that reset your finances and worldview. You're ending the year with greater financial security, clearer professional purpose, and deeper understanding of yourself. You've grown, Cancer, in ways that honor both your practical needs and your emotional truth. As we wrap up this comprehensive forecast, my advice for navigating 2026. First, embrace the confidence and opportunities Jupiter brings. Don't play small or hold back from what you want. Jupiter in Cancer and then in Leo is giving you the green light to expand, grow, and claim what you desire. Trust that you're worthy of good things. Second, commit to building a meaningful career. Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house are asking you to take your professional life seriously and to ensure it aligns with your spiritual values. Don't just work for a paycheck, work for purpose. And don't just dream about meaningful work, actually build it with Saturn's discipline. Third, go deep in your relationships. The North Node in your 8th house is calling you to authentic intimacy. This requires vulnerability, which can be scary, but it's where real connection lives. Don't stay on the surface because it feels safer. Risk being truly seen. Fourth, honor your need for emotional security while also embracing transformation. You're a sign that values safety and comfort, but growth requires some discomfort. Find the balance between having a secure foundation and being willing to transform. Fifth, create a home environment that truly nurtures you. Your home is your sanctuary, and with all the career demands this year, you need a space where you can truly rest and recharge. Make your home beautiful, comfortable, and emotionally supportive. Sixth, manage your relationship with money consciously. Jupiter in your 2nd house brings financial opportunities, but it can also bring unconscious overspending. Build real wealth by being intentional about saving, investing, and ensuring your spending aligns with your values. Seventh, pay attention to your dreams and intuition. With Uranus in your 12th house and Neptune in your chart, your subconscious and spiritual awareness are heightened. Your dreams may contain important messages. Your intuition is guiding you. Listen. And finally, remember that you're the sign of the nurturer, Cancer. You naturally take care of others, create emotional safety, and provide comfort. These gifts are beautiful, but make sure you're also nurturing yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. 2026 is asking you to expand through Jupiter, achieve through Saturn, envision through Neptune, and transform through Pluto while staying true to your emotional nature. You can be successful without becoming hard. You can be ambitious without losing your softness. You can pursue achievement while honoring your need for emotional connection and comfort. This is your year to prove that being sensitive, emotional, and nurturing isn't weakness, it's strength. The world needs your medicine, Cancer. Step into your power without losing your heart. Thank you so much for spending this time with me exploring your 2026 forecast. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing what you're most excited about for Jupiter's blessings or your career developments, and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss the monthly forecast throughout the year. Wishing you an abundant, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling 2026, Cancer. May Jupiter's blessings overflow in your life. May your career reflect your soul's purpose, and may you find the courage to be deeply vulnerable and authentically yourself. Until next time, keep well, beautiful Cancer, and I'll see you in the next video.